If you employ team members who work for you, or if you're considering employing your first colleague and team member, one of the things you need to consider is how you're obviously going to manage them. What's your management style, and how are you going to manage their time, their tasks, and how they work for you? So I always ask this question in interviews when I hire people, and it goes around being autonomous and having micro management. So I ask the applicants, the candidates, on one side you have a manager who's over your shoulder, they're micromanaging every step you take, checking everything, changing it before it goes out. And on the other side, you have a manager who gives you a task and says, I'll come back in 4 hours, let me know how you've got on. So from that micromanager to full autonomy. Now I'm obviously looking to understand how they are best to be managed, because I think interviews are a two-way thing. It should be a good fit, and then I explain how we operate as a business, and we try to discuss whether that is suitable for both parties. So I think that's a really interesting question. My view, and I think a lot of people often want autonomy. However, it's a bit of a sliding scale when you actually bring on and onboard a new employee, particularly if they're in more junior roles, is they may start off with having not the complete micromanagement style in terms of over their shoulders, etc., but a little bit more feedback in the early days, a little bit more guidance, a little bit more explanation about the processes and why you're doing these things. And then over time, as they become more established, they understand, and they can start to be a bit more creative and bring their own thoughts to the table, which is what I absolutely love from team members, is then you can really step away and give them that autonomous role. Now, obviously, over this time, you're building up trust. You're seeing about the quality and the credibility and reliability of what they do for you. So that's where you can easily take off the reins and just allow them to get on with what they're doing. And I really believe in that. If you bring talented people into your business, whether that is directly as employees or freelancers or whatever it might be, collaborators, let them do what they're good at. Don't get in their way. That's one of my big tips around management that I've learned over the years. So I've certainly gone from somebody who was probably a little bit more nervous and wanting to sort of step in a bit too often. Definitely not on the fully micromanagement side, because that isn't my style, but was more towards that end with early stage employees. But now get to the point where I'm very sort of maybe even a bit too autonomous sometimes in terms of allowing people just to really get on with them. But at the end of the day, I've got a great team, spend a lot of time investing in their professional development and training at the early stages and onboarding so they can get to that point. So yeah, something to think about when you're hiring employees from that micromanagement to autonomy level. Where do they want to be? Where do you manage at? Try and get a good fit for your business and consider how that could also be a sliding scale. It's not something that's set in stone.